Yes, RMMV have now officially completed their mandatory military service and returned to the civilian life on June 10th today. This just happened. Oh, let's do the live updates for countdown. All right, so the day for RMMV. And then at the end of this video, let's get rid of this countdown and the picture. I'll do it gladly. And then do a farewell to military RMMV and welcome the civilian version of them. And then the one for Jimin and Jungkook, they're getting discharged tomorrow, and the 11 for Suga. Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna talk about something that I noted from their speeches or messages that they delivered in front of cameras, and I'll do a translation. So first of all, they got discharged from their respective units. RMMV greeted fans at the Shinbugup Sports Park soccer field in Yulmuri, Shinbugup, Chuncheon, Gangwon province. So I guess it turns out that the now deleted 10Asia article that we talked about a couple days ago turned out to be true. So their agency, Big Hit Music, explained that due to concerns about overcrowding and potential safety issues near military bases, the discharge greeting was arranged at a separate location. And I think the journalists also got how Taehyung's unit mates sent him off with this crazy celebration. I love it. Yeah, there you go. It's clear that he got loved by his fellow servicemen on base. So yes, RMMV appeared in front of cameras holding flowers, and of course RM also celebrated the occasion by playing the sax on site, just as he did at Jin's discharge earlier this year. Sax with the shades on, sunglasses on. So it happened around 9 a.m. The two members got out of their separate cars and shared a brief hug, prompting loud cheers from the fans. RMMV, as you know, enlisted as active duty soldiers in December 2023. RM served in the 15th Division Military Band, 군악대, while V served in the 2nd Corps Special Duty Team under their military police. So let's talk about their messages. But before we do that, one thing I noted was two things I noted. So when they did a salute, they said different things. For example, RM said 필승 and V said 충성. I think we can see it right here. Like, oh, here they said the same thing, but when they first said it, pretty hectic. So they had to turn in every direction for the cameras, right? So RM said 필승 and V said loyalty, because each military unit has its own salute phrase. So I think RM's unit uses 필승, and V's unit uses 충성, which means loyalty. And two types of military boots that they're wearing, for example, this one that RM is wearing are the Korean Army standard black field boots. It's made of leather, like waterproof. But while this is samakwa that V is wearing, desert boots, that's relatively new. So I just wanted to point that out. All right, so now let's talk about what they said. So this is what RM said. I will do the full translation, and I will point out something that I noted. So RM said, "Hello, I'm Surgeon Kim Nam-jun from the 15th Division Military Band, officially discharged today. I have finally completed my service. To be honest, we're probably serving the shortest military terms in Korean history right now. The overall conditions in the military have improved a lot, too. Enlisting at a later age came with its own struggles, both physically and mentally. But I think I really came to appreciate just how many people have been protecting this country on our behalf while we were out living our lives. So many people have been serving both at the front lines and in the rear, and thanks to them, we were able to keep working actively in society. Since joining the army, I've gotten closer with my dad and friends who have already completed their service. It was a meaningful time that allowed me to bond more with those who have served. I do worry about the juniors still in service. I hope they hang in there just a bit longer and come back out healthy and safe. To armies, I just want to say thank you so much for waiting. I'm ready to return as BTS RM and give it my all again. I'm truly grateful to everyone who looked after us and waited for us. So, there we go. So, a few things that I noted. First of all, when he said we're probably serving the shortest military terms in Korean history right now, and that's a fact because if you look back at the Korean military history, it used to be much longer, like longer than 2 years. Can you believe that? But then it got shortened to 2 years, and then now it's about a year and a half. So they're talking about the general military service duration, not for these two members only. Just yeah. So that's what he said, and it's fact that compared to like 10 years ago, or just even 5 years ago, the overall conditions in the military have improved a lot. So what he's doing right there is, doing appreciation. Even though he suffered, he's at least aware of the fact that his privileged and they're privileged compared to those who served back in the day, like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But at the same time, he also said this: enlisting at a later age came with its own struggles, both physically and mentally. So 뒤늦은 나이에 가서 솔직히 괴롭고 힘든 일도 많았지만, and that was kind of heartbreaking, because you gotta remember that military is all about hierarchy, right? But if you join the military at a later age, you can get orders and commands from someone who's much younger than you. And in a Korean society where age matters quite a lot, that could come as a culture shock, something uncomfortable. And celebrities join the military at a later age, as late as possible, while average Korean men joined pretty early. Like some people joined their like freshman year during university years or early 20s, but RM on the other hand joined late 20s. But I don't know, who knows, maybe he had a lot of different other experiences that we do not know about. Maybe that's why he said came with it. And he literally said, honestly speaking, I had a lot of experiences, struggles, hard and difficult. 괴롭고 힘든 일도 솔직히 많았지만. Maybe he will tell us all about it later during events, live streaming, or during concerts. But maybe he won't. But yeah, that's something that I noted. Him being honest. And then it was interesting how he said that, first of all, once again, RM being RM, he showed appreciation for those who have served before him. I think I really came to appreciate just how many people have been protecting this country on our behalf while we were out living our lives, doing their own activities. And then he also said he has gotten closer with his dad and friends who have already completed their service because now they have a lot more in common. So I also noted that. And then just like Jin and J-Hope, who have got discharged before him, he shared and expressed concerns for those who are still serving in his unit about the juniors still in service. I hope they hang in there just a bit longer and come back out healthy and safe. And of course, him showing lots of love for armies who have waited for them. And then this was a funny moment. He fumbled and almost dropped the mic. And guess what he said? Very silently, quietly, mic drop.
너무 감사했습니다. 감사합니다. Mic drop.
Mic drop. I love it. Okay, now let's talk about what V said. So V said this: Hello, I'm Sergeant Kim Tae-young of the 2nd Corps, Sanyong Military Police Special Task Force, officially discharged today. After joining the military, it became a time for me to reflect, realign both my body and mind. Yeah, it got huge. Sorry, let me do the full translation. I have rebuilt myself inside and out, and now I just want to run to armies as soon as possible. I sincerely want to thank all the armies who waited for me during my service. If you could wait just a little longer, I'll be back on stage with something truly amazing. And like Sergeant Kim Namjoon said, there are still officers and fellow soldiers in my unit who really looked after me. I hope they all train safely, without injury, and make it through to discharge in good health. To all the officers and soldiers of the Sanyong Special Task Force and Military Police Counter-Terror Unit, thank you for taking such great care of me. Now that I'm back in society, I'll work hard to become someone good, someone truly impressive. Yeah, so first of all, it's clear that he, like you said, he worked on his both body and mind, and he really got jacked. And it's very clear, just like other members, he got adored by his fellow unit members, servicemen, soldiers, and officers. So that's why, just like RM, he showed appreciation for those who served with him on base. And another thing that I noted was when he said, now that I'm back in society. So that's something I wanted to tell you about. So that's a Korean term that we use to differentiate life in military and life from life in society, so civilian life. So when you get discharged from the military, and you said, now I'm back in society, So I just wanted to point that out. Also, I did not really like it when a journalist jumped in at the end. He was trying to say something more. Like here. 충성, meaning loyalty.
그리고 제가 목이 좀 쉬었는데.
Yeah, right here. He said, oh, and my voice is a little hoarse right now. But, and then a journalist jumped in, asking them about a question that I will later talk about. And I thought he was going to talk about, this moment, how he, said goodbye and farewells to his, fellow military mates. Maybe he cried. I don't know. He was going to tell us something. But then a journalist jumped in and asked this question. 전역 후 제일 하고 싶은 거 하나씩 말해주세요. What's the one thing that you want to do after discharge? RM said, I think we'll have the same answer, but I really want to perform. And V said, the stage, 무대죠. RM said, 공연을 제일 하고 싶다. I want to perform. And V said, 무대, the stage. And RM said, 빨리 앨범 열심히 만들어서 다시 무대로 복귀하겠습니다. we'll get to work on the album and return to the stage as soon as we can. And V once again said, 빨리, meaning can't wait. And then I love this part when RM said,
공연이 제일 그래서 부대 복귀 그만하고 무대 복귀하겠습니다.
부대 복귀 그만하고 무대 복귀하겠습니다. It's kind of like a wordplay with rhymes. No more bass return, time for stage return. 부대 means bass, 무대 means stage, and they rhyme with each other, right? So RM rhyming right after getting discharged. And V ended the moment by saying thank you. All right, so there we go. Of course, closing words. RM said, thank you all so much for making time out of your busy day to be here. We will greet you again as BTS, RMMV. 오늘 바쁘시간 시간 내주시고 귀한 걸음 해주셔서 너무 감사드리고 다시 BTS RM과 B로 인사드리도록 하겠습니다. And then this moment, they were shaking hands right there. And then V looked at RM and said, 잘 부탁드립니다. I'll be in your care. As BTS members, right? And our RM said, thank you. And then they did salute for the last time. 2, 3, 필승 and loyalty. 필승 and 출석. All right. So there you go. Lots of cute moments, funny moments, adorable moments. RM. And them hugging was priceless. Mic drop moments. Yeah, adorable. And them being so happy. They're free finally. And then this. The energy of the fans in front of HYBE building in Yongsan, Seoul City, as they greet the RMMV getting discharged from the military. Absolutely love it. So there you go. I hope this was informative for you, and I just cannot wait. Especially because RMMV specifically mentioned that they want to be back on stage as soon as possible, and RM saying we'll get to work on the album and return to the stage as soon as we can. So I'm truly excited. All right, so let's do a celebration. Where are you? Military countdown. So, goodbye, military RMMV. And then, yep, welcome, civilian Namjoon and Taeyeon. And once again, D1 and D11 until the full reunion. I'll probably be back with like a translation and breakdown of what Jungkook and Jimin will be saying tomorrow. And yeah, let's stay positive, respectful, and classy. And for those of you who are in Seoul, Korea, to celebrate this moment and celebrate BTS Festa, I hope you have a wonderful time and be safe. Okay, I hope the Korean people can treat you right. All right, see you guys later. Bye bye. Whoop. 보라 해.